Hello, hello. Welcome to Verbling. I am teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, uh, we are going to finish our series of discussions on reported speech. This week, for the last 3 days, I should say, including today, at this time slot, we've been talking about how to correctly construct sentences when reporting what others have said or reported speech. 2 days ago, we looked at basic reported speech rules and statements. Yesterday, we analyzed questions and requests, some slight differences there. And today, we're going to look at some various advanced points of using reported speech. We'll be looking at a document together. I'll be talking about it with the students, and maybe we'll do some practice forming sentences for these various points. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, nice to see you again. Just I was reading an article about English for Japanese learners. It said, please is not polite, not always polite. Japanese believe that if we put please, it's very polite. But according to the article, for example, it kind of the princess ordered their servant. For example, please come here is a little not polite. So if you say that, you should say, can you come here, or could you? It's much more polite. Is it true?
Well, that's an interesting concept, and it goes back to the etymology or the history of please. And I think that is accurate, that it used to be used to order servants or slaves around even. But I think it's a little trickier than that, Heidi. Honestly, I think it all depends on the intonation and the context. It's definitely polite to say, please pass me the milk. Okay, that's a polite expression. It is, and it's definitely construed as polite. But of course, if I say, will you please shut the hell up? Obviously not. Obviously not so polite.
For example, be quiet, please.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. This is very common in in a tennis match, for example. Wimbledon's coming up. You will definitely, if you watch Wimbledon, you'll definitely hear the judge or the announcer, quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Oh.
When they're about to start. This is very common. And of course, they wouldn't say rude things at Wimbledon, now would they? That wouldn't be proper. So, I think it really depends on the intonation and the context, honestly.
So, it's warning to Japanese learners. You should say, can you or could you? It's much polite.
Well, I think, again, I think there's situations where saying please is very much polite. And frankly, honestly, in the culture, I'm sure British culture as well, but speaking for American culture, learning to say please, thank you, and you're welcome, God bless you when somebody sneezes, something you teach two-year-olds. When they first begin to speak, you teach them that you need to say please. And if they're asking for a baby bottle, for example, you don't teach them, may I have a bottle, maybe may I have a baby bottle, or can I have a baby bottle? You teach them please. Milk, please. That's essential. It's considered crucial that they must learn please, thank you, and you're welcome right away. So I kind of, in a way, I disagree with that. We don't teach our own children to say, can I have some milk? No. We would smack their hand. No, please, may I please have some milk? You need to say please. We demand it of our children. So kind of not really in agreement with that idea.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's a good point. That's very interesting. Okay. Sasha. Hi, Sasha. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Hi.
Hi. Okay. Today's lesson. One more shot at reported speech. We're gonna look at actually some things we really haven't talked about yet this week in this series, but some quite specific circumstances and special circumstances when we're doing reported speech. So, okay, well, let's get to it. The class fairly empty right now, but plenty of room, guys. So come on in. You can join the class anytime, and you are welcome to do so. All right, let me get started. We have quite a bit of material here today. All right. Okay, we're going to look at main clauses when we connect two clauses with and or but. Obviously, obviously we're talking about a compound sentence here in which we connect two independent clauses. Okay, which it would be very common to connect them with and or but. If two complete main clauses are connected with these connective subordinators, you should put that after the conjunction. Okay, so as an example, he said, I saw her, but she didn't see me. Really should be, he said that he had, we're doing backshift here. He said that he had seen her, but that she hadn't seen him. So what they're talking about is this that here. Again, behind or after the conjunction. All right. So this is the okay. The first one is the actual speech. I saw her, but she didn't see me. So saw her becomes had seen, past perfect. The past tense becomes past perfect. She didn't see me. Okay, again. All right, the negative simple past becomes the negative past perfect. But the only difference here from what we've been learning about reported speech is that this extra that. You have to make sure you add. All right. And it makes logical sense if you consider that these are actually two independent clauses or two simple sentences. All right. Obviously, the that is here. He said that. When we're going to do backshift reported speech, we use that. So obviously, it makes sense to use it again. If, however, so that's a compound sentence. By contrast, if there's no subject, well, if the subject is left out, then it's not a compound sentence anyway. You're just doing a simple sentence with an extra verb, subject, verb, verb sentence. In the second part of the clause, I wouldn't even call it a clause, I'd call it a phrase. But anyway, so there's no new subject, there's no compound sentence, you don't use that, which is very logical again. So for example, this is what was actually said in the past. I am a nurse and work in a hospital. Well, in actuality, this is one subject, two verb, simple sentence. Oh, okay, I am, all right, and work. Yeah, that's what it is, so no need for that. You don't have a new independent clause. To add another clause, just basic English, you have to have a new subject. Otherwise, it's a simple sentence. So, all right, he said that she was a nurse and worked in a hospital. Not necessary to put the that after and. Okay? Any questions about that?
Yes, in the first example, that is it necessary?
This behind the
Yes, sounds
conjunction.
very weird for me.
Does it? He said that he had seen her, but that she hadn't seen him. Yeah, Is it really necessary? Okay, all right. Let me. All right. Hang on. He said that he had seen her, but she hadn't seen him. Okay. Yeah, that sounds okay to me. He said that
Because
he had
there
seen
is
her, but that she hadn't seen him. Yeah. Okay. I hadn't really considered it because when I consider, I was going on and on about the two independent clauses. When I consider it, seems very logical to me to have to use that grammatically. Completely, 100% makes sense in my brain. But when you call me out on it and I actually read them without that, I think this must be one of those things where that is the grammar rule. I think that is the rule. That's the way it should be. But I'm kind of with you a little bit, Sasha, because I think it would be very natural for native speakers to use ellipsis to just drop that word, to drop that in this sentence. Because it doesn't sound very strange. It sounds normal to me either way I say it, actually.
because there is a but word. That's why it's for my ears that it's like third wheel.
He had seen her. She hadn't seen him. Well, we need the but, absolutely.
No, but sure, of course, I agree. But that it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think this is a grammar rule that speakers often break when they're speaking. So my advice when you run across these situations, and they are numerous, is that you need to be careful about it in writing, especially academic writing, business writing, any kind of professional writing, I would recommend, my recommendation is that you follow this rule in writing. Don't worry about it when you're speaking. Because
okay.
honestly,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you. To sum up, this grammatically from books is correct, but I can use in speech without that in this
Yeah,
case. But grammatical, okay.
I would agree with that.
I got it.
I don't think it's all that important in speech. Okay. Okay, now this next part, all right, stay with me here. Hold on to your hats. This is a little tricky. This is another piece of information we have not yet talked about. It's kind of, we have, but we haven't. We haven't looked at it from this perspective. We're going to talk a little bit about the tense of the introductory clause. That is the part that says he said, he asked, whatever. That is what we can call the introductory clause. All right, as we have been practicing for 2 days now, we know that the introductory clause is usually in the past tense. He said would be the most normal example, or he said that. All right. Now, I have mentioned this before. This part we've already talked about. Present tense is used to report a conversation that is still going on during a phone call or this is interesting, while reading a letter. I talked about that. I kind of called it relayed or transferred information. I was calling it. All right, and that's very logical. Somebody's on the phone and somebody else wants to know what they said. What did he say? Tom says that he's fine. All right, he just said it on the phone, for example. Or if you're reading a letter, okay, Tom wrote that I am fine. You're relaying, oh, what does the letter say? Oh, Tom writes that he is fine. Okay, I use present tense here. Tom is fine. In other words, I don't have to use reported speech backshift. I don't have to make it more in the past. Not necessary. We've discussed that before. I think that's fairly clear. So, keeping that in mind, here's the rub. Here's something we haven't talked about. We've talked about the introductory clause being, simple present and simple past. However, sometimes it is, if you think about it, it can be possible to have the introductory clause in different tenses. This will affect if you need to use backshift in the actual statement, in the main information, or not. So, for example, we can see he says, okay, Tom says that he is fine. All right, present tense, I don't need backshift. Right. Okay, but we know with simple past, he said, we've been practicing this for days, you need to do backshift. Okay, so here, we're going to look at this more in depth. Sorry, hang on. Okay, so here is a little table, I guess. Looking at it from the perspective of if you're using backshift or not. Whether, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Looking at the perspective of the introductory clause. Okay. You don't need backshift with some tenses in the introductory clause. So if the he says, he said, he will say is in these verb tenses, you will not use backshift in the main statement. That's the idea. However, on the left, in this column to the left, okay, the column to the right is saying when the introductory clause is in these tenses, it is necessary to do backshift. So, for example, let's take something very simple. All right, imagine, let's try this out together. Okay, I'm going to squeeze this back up a little. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, let's take some stupid short sentence. I like hamburgers. Okay, so again, simple present tense. He says he likes, if you're reporting what I just said, you would say he says that he likes hamburgers. No backshift. Okay, Heidi?
Mm-hmm.
Present perfect, if we start our introductory clause, he has said.
He has said. He has said he liked hamburger.
See, you don't need to do backshift. He has said that he likes hamburgers.
He likes hamburgers.
Okay.
He has just said.
Yeah. Well, you just said you could.
Just said.
All right.
This
may take a minute to wrap your head around. It did me when I was preparing for the class. I had to really think about this.
For example, you are 116 years old, the oldest in the world. So many reporters came around you. So the young person who is caring you always. Reporters asking you, what do you like? He said, I like hamburger. So the person needs
translating.
Yeah, translate.
More or less. Yeah. Okay.
He had just said he loves hamburger, like that.
Not necessarily. Okay. Well, could be, but not necessarily. Now remember, what we're talking about, we don't have to backshift. So what you actually said is, I used to like hamburgers. Okay, he has said that he used to like hamburgers. You don't have to change it. Because we're using present perfect tense, that means, okay, it started in the past, but it has a relationship to now. So we can assume you would not use this introductory clause unless the information was still true or relevant, right? If that makes sense. He has said he likes hamburgers. Doesn't matter if he said he didn't like hamburgers as a child. So I don't have to make it. He has said that he had not liked hamburgers as a child. That won't work. Backshift doesn't work here. It does sound very weird if you try to backshift it.
Oh, this is very difficult to understand.
Yes, it is. I can confess to you that this is advanced points. I can confess to you that I had to really think about what they were, this material, and I really had to concentrate to figure this out. This is a bit of a brain teaser here. It's all very logical, but you really have to spend a minute to think about it. Absolutely, it's not really self-evident. Okay. Well, just try to absorb. That's what I had to do. Try to absorb. Sasha, the future one. Okay, what we're talking about is future simple tense. Okay, he will say. Yeah.
That he likes, or he likes. That
Yeah.
he likes.
Yeah. That he likes hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is logical, right?
Yeah. This the present perfect. If I didn't knew it, I would be confused, and I think I would use past.
Yeah.
But now I know. Present perfect is a tricky one.
Yeah, it's okay. It's yeah, it's very logical if you think about it. You know, the president says, I will lower taxes. Okay, he will say that he will lower taxes. The weird thing is, because it's future and you're talking about it, and clearly it's been thought about before, why would you ever use will? That's the weird one. Why? Because you tend to use going to as a future simple when it's already planned. So what I find confusing in these are saying the same thing, future simple, but the two forms with will and going to.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little weird for me. What's strange for me is clearly you're reporting something that was thought of before or spoken before. So it's already planned, right?
Yeah,
Why
so
would you ever use will?
this is maybe just for learners, just to know.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Logically speaking, it's going to make a lot more sense to use the going to future simple in this case. He is going to say, because clearly you've already heard it. You know it. You know that's the plan. He is going to say he will lower taxes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, really, in the I'm talking about right off the bat in the introductory clause. Well, if you know what he's going to say, it's already a plan. So I think it's much more common that you would hear this. And this is common enough. He's going to say, he's going to do something. If you already know that, then, you know, well, duh, then it's already planned. And that's why we use going to in the future tense. Okay. All right, well, let's look at these other ones where you backshift. Okay, again, we're thinking about it from the perspective of the introductory clause. That's the key. All right, so we've given a lot of examples the last couple of days using he said. If you remember, whenever we use he said, well, okay, we use backshift, except when, Heidi?
He said.
Yeah. So, okay, we usually use backshift, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ate all ice cream in the refrigerator.
Okay. He said, all right, but wait a minute. What I actually said is I ate all the ice cream in the refrigerator. So how would you say reported speech?
He said he had eaten all ice cream in the refrigerator.
Perfect. Exactamundo. Exactly. Definitely that you're gonna, okay. You're definitely gonna change it. However, okay, Sasha, if what I actually said is the sky is blue.
You said that the sky is blue.
Okay. No, he did not do backshift, and correctly so, because as far as we know, the sky has maintained its blue color.
Yes, yes.
Right. We still know it to be true. Right. So it's if something is indisputably, factually, obviously still true, you do not need backshift, and it makes a lot more sense to not use backshift. Okay, just wanted to make that point. Okay, now again, we've been looking the past 2 days basically at introductory clauses, a little bit simple present, and a lot of simple past. However, there are uh, possibilities, possible situations, that is, when you may start the sentence with an introductory clause in these other with these other tenses. For example, he had said. Okay, all right. So Heidi, what I said was, I like hamburgers.
Oh, he had said he had liked hamburger.
He had said that he liked hamburgers.
He had said he had liked.
Well, present becoming past.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I didn't write it down.
That's perfect. He had said that he had liked hamburgers.
No, you don't have to change everything to past perfect just because the introductory clause is past perfect. This is very confusing, I know. So if what I actually said, all right.
For example, I said, I stole your money. So.
Okay, I stole your money.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I stole your money. All right, that's the actual sentence.
She had said.
Okay, let's take a look.
Had stolen my money.
Stole, yes. Steal, stole. Yes, because stole is past tense.
Mm-hmm.
She had said.
Yeah, not stolen. Stole. That she had said that she had stolen.
Yes, that's right.
She had stolen my money.
My money?
My money.
I stole your money. She had said that she had stolen. Yes, my money. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused in the pronoun. All right, that would be right. She had said that she had stolen my money. Okay. Okay. But why would you do that, of course, unless you had something like, you know, but she changed her story yesterday. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay. We got to think why we would ever say the introductory clause with the, using past perfect. So it's got to be that this happened first out of two things. Okay, so she changed her story yesterday, simple past. So this action happened first. She had said that she had stolen my money, but she changed her story yesterday. Okay? So that's another factor, right?
And
There's got to be a reason that you're using that tense in the introductory clause. Yeah.
then he returned me.
Said she returned it. Oh, I don't want to complicate this story.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick
Okay.
question.
Yes.
In this case, should be that after but grammar. Is it the same case
Okay.
like
Wait a
was
minute.
before?
Let me
But
see.
that she changed her story.
She said that she had stolen my money. Well, it doesn't make sense, does it? But that she changed her story yesterday. No, because this is not okay. This is interesting.
Because the past perfect should be compared to the past tense. To the past tense is going on, what's going on. So one is the past, and more past we should use had past. So we need to use two tenses, right? If I use
Okay.
past perfect.
Now the confusing part about this, I'm not entirely sure if I'm answering your question, but what is confusing, we think about this backshift, it is we only use backshift for what the person actually said or thought or believed. The use of the different tenses in the introductory clause is dependent on the other information and the other parts of the sentence. That's why I needed this second clause, to make this past perfect valid. It has nothing whatsoever to do with any of the verb tenses in the actual direct speech that was heard. It has nothing to do with that at all. That's the important point. You've got two different things to be concerned about. The introductory phrase is like a unique sentence that it's got to be in the correct verb tense relative to whatever time information you have. It has nothing to do with what you're actually reporting, the content of what is being reported. That's the difficult part. You're juggling two things at once here.
I got it.
All right. Now, to answer Sasha's question, why do we not use that here? Because this is not the reported information. This is a separate clause.
Yes. Now I got it. This is just to point out that why it starts. She had said.
That's right.
I got it.
To make the introductory clause verb tense valid, I had to do that.
It has another purpose in this sentence. I got it.
Yeah, it is not actually what she said. Who would say that? I stole your money, but I changed my mind. I changed my story yesterday. No one would actually say that, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but okay. Anyway, all right, very good. I think you guys are grasping this. It's a little bit, it's complicated because you're dealing with two factors at the same time. All right, future two. Why future two? Future two. What's that? Okay. Obviously they're talking about future perfect. Future two. I don't like that, but okay. Future perfect. Will have. Will have said. Okay. He will have said everything he needs to say by the time the speech ends. So, okay, again, you have to have some reason to use this introductory clause. He will have said everything he needs to say. Well, that's not really reported speech, is it? How can we use this? Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay. I don't know why I keep going back to politicians and the president and speeches and stuff, but okay. All right. Okay. I will lower taxes. Terrific, is what he actually said. All right. Sasha, help me out with this one.
He will have said that he's going to maybe lower taxes.
uh,
He lowers taxes.
oh, we have to
No,
backshift. Okay, because we have future tense here. Remember, actually, cheat sheet. Okay. when when we use will or the first conditional, we have to use conditional one. Well, that's not very illuminating. We have to change it to would. Okay.
It's sure. It's easy. I don't know why I
Okay.
forgot it now. Yeah, that he would, but
lower taxes. He will have said that he would lower taxes. Okay, and then we need something at some concrete time in the future to make up future perfect relevant. So there's got to be another phrase here.
By tomorrow, for instance.
Yeah, okay, to keep it simple. He will have said, yeah, all right. Just, I don't know, to make this a more realistic sentence related to, he will have said publicly, I'm adding that, all right, he will have said publicly that he would lower taxes by tomorrow. That sentence makes perfect sense. And it's something that, yeah, would act very realistic. Okay. We got the idea here? Because, all right. Then we got our stupid, crazy conditionals. He would say, conditional one, what? Is this conditional two? I think we have a mistake here. Okay, he would say that this should be 2 and 3, right? This is a mistake. Error. Anyone watching? The document clearly has a mistake here.
Next to 3, yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, that it has to be. Okay. He would say that he likes hamburgers.
If he was president.
All right. He would say.
He would start a war.
Okay.
He would attack.
We'll throw that in there. He would attack Fiji.
If he were president.
Okay. Sounds like American presidential candidates. Sounds like something stupid. I can't believe the stupid things those guys come up with. Really, a bunch of maniacs. Okay. Yes, and that is definitely, obviously, conditional too. Well, this just making a conditional sentence there. Yeah, that's not really anything different. You're just doing what you would normally do in a conditional sentence there. All right, he would have said that if he were president, he would have had attacked Fiji. Yeah, okay. You're really not doing anything that you don't normally do in a conditional sentence. That's really not all that difficult. So actually conditional sentences are easier with backshift. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, the basic rules, we've already discussed these, but here they are in the document if anybody needs them. We discussed these in the first class. Let's now talk about the ever dreaded exceptions. Red light, red light. Okay, the first one's easy, just review. Actually, Sasha and I already talked about this. Backshift to simple present is optional if the situation is unchanged or you agree. So very simply, Canberra is the capital of Australia. She said that Canberra is the capital of Australia. Again, remember that it's a speaker's option. I kind of agree if it's an obvious fact, like the sky is blue, why would you change it? Why would you backshift it? It's not, seems weird. Okay, that one's easy. All right. Let's look at this one. All right, backshift, a simple past and past progressive, is off. Now this is much more, okay, slow down. Let's wrap our heads around this one. All right, backshift of simple past and past progressive is optional if they cannot be mistakenly taken for backshift of the present tense. OMG. Oh. Okay, so in other words, backshift is not necessary if there's a time expression. So she left Boston on Monday, for example, because we have a time marker or indicator. He said that I can say she left Boston on Monday, or I can say had left Boston on Monday. Which sounds better? Sasha, what do you think? Okay, if the statement is she left Boston on Monday.
In my opinion, maybe easy would be first, but
Yeah.
more, I don't know. For me, I think I will be using the second one. I don't
You
know.
said that she had left Boston on Monday.
Because of left, it's past, and then
Past tense.
I got used to do backshift.
Backshift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
when you make reported speech, you make 1/10 back.
Mm-hmm.
So for me,
Right.
it's more
Okay. What happens?
convenient.
Right. I get your point, and I'm with you there. It's more just following the rules. If you don't have to, as usual. Okay. There is, as with many exceptions in English. You have a rule, but then they say, oh, in some cases you can break the rule, and it's okay. But it's okay to follow the rule. Why would you break the rule in some cases if just following the rule is so much simpler? Yeah. So, in other words, I agree with you, Sasha. Why not just follow the rule? Why make it more complicated? All right. But anyway, just so you know, you can. What about past progressive? Let's take an example. I am coming next week. Okay, Heidi, this is the actual, the actual direct speech. So,
He said,
yes.
he said he was coming.
All right, next week.
Next week.
Now, okay, so you decide to use backshift, and that's perfectly okay to do that. All right, he said he is coming next week. You could not use backshift. All right. Both of you guys choose to use backshift. I think I agree with you. Okay. Another exception. Whoa, slow down. Here we go. Simple past and past progressive do not normally change in sentences with when or if. These are the subordinators. starting clauses when and if. We're not talking about the interrogative, when, or any other uses. We're talking specifically about when they start a clause. For example, this is interesting. Okay. All right. For example, when I was having breakfast, the telephone suddenly rang. That's strange. That's a strange sentence right to begin with.
He said that the telephone had rung suddenly when he had been having breakfast.
Yeah, this is backwards. This is stupid. This should be, I was having breakfast when, a very bad example. I didn't notice this earlier. Should be like this. I was having breakfast when the telephone suddenly rang. In which case, it doesn't matter. We can still do the same thing here. Okay. Simple past. Yeah, when is used with the simple past. You don't use when with the past progressive. It's possible, but why do it? Because while works so much better. Okay. So anyway, the example still holds true when I move the subordinator to make it make a little bit more sense. I was having breakfast when the telephone suddenly rang. She said that she was having breakfast instead of had been having breakfast when the telephone suddenly rang. Yeah, backshifting this would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be
very weird.
Yeah, this example actually much easier. So if the original speech in past, I can use the simple past in the reported speech.
Yeah. In other words, without backshift. With when and if, and it sounds this sounds a lot more normal.
Yes, I agree. Because had, ran, had been having. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, complicated.
Can you imagine?
Very complicated.
She said that she had been having breakfast when the telephone suddenly, past perfect again, when the telephone suddenly
had rung.
Weird. No? Yeah, when the telephone suddenly had rung. That sounds weird.
But grammatically, is it correct?
No, it's ugly. No, it doesn't really make any sense. Because it grates on my brain, because past perfect tense, you can't use past perfect tense to talk about two separate actions. That's against the whole purpose of past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is to show that one thing happened before another event or before a specific time. So if we have two past perfect in the same sentence, smoke starts coming out of my ears. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Maybe what they're saying is the clause doesn't have to change. When the telephone suddenly rang. Does this make sense? Making the clause with when, making that into past perfect, that does not work at all. Grammatically, existentially, whatever, just doesn't work. That absolutely does not work. Do not do that. Okay, how about this? She said that she had been having breakfast when the telephone suddenly rang. That's okay. It's interesting because we're not really seeing I think both of these are okay. Doesn't really say. My information here doesn't really say. The main point being here, don't change the verb tense in the clause with when or if. I think backshifting or not backshifting is okay here. Why not? It doesn't really change any sense of the meaning. Yeah.
Yes, it's normal, very
Yeah.
normal, I would say.
I would say so too. Okay, let's look at if here. Let's see if that gives us any conundrums. If I had more time, I would learn French. Well, obviously, we've got a conditional sentence, second conditional. Let's, let's see. He said that if he had more time, he would learn French. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this case, we're not backshifting either.
Maybe if I use the third conditional, the meaning changes.
Yeah. You mean in the reported speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In reported speech, but I had more time. Its meaning is different. The second conditional is that kind of imagination, hypothetical.
Right.
Third conditional is like regret. So
Yeah. Yeah. Something in the past. Yeah. Second conditional, you're talking about the future, hypothetically, and the third conditional, you're talking about the past, hypothetically. Yeah. If you do any shift here, you're in trouble. You're turning a second conditional into a third conditional. You're making a future statement, a past statement. That wouldn't work at all, would it? That would be ridiculous. Yeah, that would never work. Yeah, I see your point, Heidi, and I agree. You're completely changing the meaning.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, no way. All right, don't be backshifting conditionals because you're going to get into trouble. I think that's the easy lesson there. I think we saw that earlier when we were looking at the reported speech, when we were looking at the introductory clauses. Really the same idea. Okay, easy lesson to be learned. Don't mess with tenses in conditional sentences, because if you do, you create a different type of conditional. I think we can take that as a basic rule. There you go. Wow, it's a miracle. A complicated conditional sentences are actually easier when it comes to reported speech because you can't do anything to them. Okay. All right. Yesterday we were looking at requests. Basic rule for request: your introductory clause, he said, whatever, plus the infinitive form of the verb. Okay, what was actually said? Say hello to your mom. She asked me to say hello to my mom. So there it is. Infinitive instead of the verb. Okay. However, what we didn't look at yesterday, a couple points here. Advice expressions with must, should, ought. What is ought? There's no ought. It's always ought to. Are usually reported using advise or urge. I think we looked at, actually we did kind of look at this. I think this was mentioned yesterday. Okay. Well, let's take a look at an example. You must read that book. All right. Well, that's a command sentence, obviously. Okay. I think we did look at this. He advised me or urged me to read that book. Or told me. Why not he told me to read that book? He told me I must read that book. Why not? I'm not sure why you can't do this. Why can't you do this? I think you can. He told me that I must read that book.
But we need to change the must to the past. So I had to. No.
No, because this isn't the past. This is no. Oh, we can't change. Oh, remember, we can't change with must. We can't. Okay, I forgot. You can't.
I learned in another place. Must should be had to.
Well, there you go. I was just going to say that.
Doesn't have any past, so.
Yeah, must doesn't have any past. Exactly. So you have a point. If right, yeah, I was just going to do that. So in other words, okay, if the original statement was, you have to read that book. Okay, all right, well then you could still use this one. This would still be valid. He advised me to read that book. Sure, but this one would change, right? So Heidi, instead of must, what would we use here?
Had to.
Had.
Had to.
He told me that I had, where's the two? Had to read that book. Uh-huh. Okay. He told me that I had to read that book. All right. That makes sense to me. We can't do it with must because there is no, we can't get more past than the past, just like when you can't backshift past perfect because you're as past as you can go. Okay, just a couple of minutes here. All right, last point. The expression let's is usually used with the introductory clause with suggest. Okay, and then what follows can be different. Okay, for example, let's go to the cinema. All right, he suggested going to the cinema. Sounds slightly strange to me, but okay, using the gerund. All right. Or he suggested that we should go to the cinema. All right. Any questions there? Gerund or statement? With should. He suggested that we should go to the cinema. All right. Well.
For example, another order. Let the wind come in. In that case, how can I change?
Let, allow, like that. Let
the wind come in. Like open the wind. Let the wind come in.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's order, then how can I make the reported speech? He said.
Okay. Okay. What do we use? What would we use?
He proposed, maybe.
He urged. Where was it? Advise or urge?
He asked.
He advised me. He urged me. He advised me or urged me.
Advised.
It's kind of odd, isn't it? Advised.
To let the wind come in.
Yeah, let here, allow is the verb. So again, this command sentence, command request, again, we're going to the infinitive. I would say this is correct. He advised me to let the wind come in.
Can I use said that? No.
Here?
He said that.
He said that. Can you? Okay. He said. I think we got a judgment call here. That I should. You would have to use should, right?
I should.
Let the wind come in.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay.
I think we have an option here. I think we can do it either way.
Yes.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. And
it's
on
very
that,
different.
yeah, that was a mind tweaker, wasn't it? A little bit. Yeah, I'll tell you, I had to wrestle with that. When I was preparing the class, I really had to. My wife is telling me, "Come on, you got to eat your lunch. Hurry up and eat your lunch." I'm like, "Wait, I've got to get this straight in my head before I teach it." She's very concerned for my health. Anyway, we made it through. All of us are alive. We're all healthy. Thank you very much. That's it. We made it through. Good job, guys. I'm proud of us all. That's it for now, though. Thanks a lot. See you guys. Thanks for your help.
Thank you very much. See ya.